How's it going, everyone? Nathan Hawken here, and welcome to the video. So for today's video, I'm doing an episode of Camping Countryside and Coaching, and I've gotten out to go for a day hike up my local mountain, which is Ticknock Mountain in Dublin. It's a beautiful mountain. There's so many different walking tracks that go in through the forest. There's bike tracks. Three Rock is at the top there with these three massive boulders with a beautiful view over Dublin City, which I'll show you guys later. And it's one of my favorite places to go because it's really close to where I live. I literally caught the bus here because my wife has the car today, and I'm just walking up now. For the coaching part of today's video, we're going to talk about dealing with loneliness and how to be happy with your own space by yourself. Because loneliness doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing, but we'll get into that later. For now, I'll see you at the top. So up there, just at the top of the mountain is where I'm going. You can kind of see the antenna sticking out the top. Might not show up in here, but that's where I'm heading. So you can see around here, it's all brown, right? All this is brown. Last time I came down here, it must have been maybe autumn, and so it was still quite green, because this is actually mostly all, I think there's some fern, but there's also a lot of blackberry brambles, so I'd come up here pick them. When I came down here last time, it was all green, and it had been raining as well, so this path that I'm walking on is here. All this was like a little creek, a waterfall going downstairs, a creek going down the mountain. So we had to kind of walk around it. Luckily I had my boots on, so I was okay, but it looks very different now compared to the last time I was here. And that's what I love about getting out. You can walk the same track, but when nature takes its course, the seasons change and morph into each other, or morph from one to the next. Everything just looks so different. Like it's winter now here in Dublin. It's not as cold as it was yesterday, but it's getting there. And you can see how great it is, but look at this. What a great view, huh? So it's still quite residential down there. I'll show you when I get right to the top, but just behind that tree and down that way, that's Dublin. So we've got Dunleary, I think Bray's down that way, and then the city centre's over there. That's so funny. I was just coming out of the woods just down there and walking down this road, or this path, were two ladies walking their dogs. One of them saw me, but the other one didn't, so when I stepped out, she was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ." It scared the hell out of her. All right, well, I made it to Three Rock, and as I said before, this is one of the best views of Dublin City. Not that Dublin is the prettiest looking city in the world, but this is the best view of the city. Check it out. obviously, except for that hideous looking antenna. It's Dublin City just down there, as you can start to see the water, that's Sandy Cove. Moving across to the south side of Dublin. I live in there somewhere. All the way through to Dunleary, and then just over the horizon down that way is Bray. And as I said, this is 3 rock, so I believe that's 1 and 2, and I'm standing on 3. But what a view, eh? Fantastic. And if you look around behind me, I'm going up there, but I'm going to go around this way, go through the woods, and I might stop off in the woods, have a nice coffee while I'm there. Alright, so I've just gone off the actual kind of track or road thing which is going through the woods and just kind of darted up the hill. Found a nice spot. I didn't think I was going to get very lucky because there's just trees, there's lots of chopped down trees, so there's lots of stumps covered in moss sticking out of the ground, so I didn't think I was going to get anywhere kind of nice and flat just to sit down for a little bit and have a nice coffee, but I have, and this is it just here. Check it out. So it's nice and flat there, just enough room to kind of sit back, put my legs out, hopefully lean back a little bit, have a nice coffee, and then just relax in the woods for a little while before I have to get going. Cool, it's coffee time.
problems with a mug like this is a nice hot coffee. It turns really cold when it's wintertime. I need to get like a insulated cup or something like that. So one of the things I really enjoy about getting out into nature, going hiking, camping, is being able to do it alone. Like, I love camping and hiking with my mates. Anytime I go for a hike with my friends, we get into quite deep and meaningful conversations rather than just light banter. There's a bit of banter from time to time, but we tend to just talk more about the real things, like ourselves, what drives us, what makes us tick, things like that. But I really enjoy doing it alone. I'm more of an introvert type of person, generally speaking. I like my own space, my own time, way more than I like being in big groups or being around too many people. And for me, that's okay. But there are times where I still feel lonely. I mean, there are times when I feel lonely like around my family. Like, I've got a beautiful and amazing wife, 2 incredible kids. They love me so much and I love them. And even still, sometimes I feel lonely. And that's why I wanted to talk about that in this video today, because like the coaching side of this video, like what I really want to do with these videos is incorporate my passions, which are camping, hiking in countryside, and coaching, which, if you're not watching my channel already and you haven't seen any of my other videos, there's a lot of content on there about personal development, about coaching, about asking difficult questions, helping you achieve more in your life, those type of things. So I wanted to incorporate those 3 things under one banner, if you will. I might even create my own channel around it, and put these videos onto my own channel. But anyway, I digress. For today's video and the coaching side of things, I really wanted to talk about loneliness, how to cope with loneliness, how to deal with loneliness, and also how to be alone with yourself. There is a big difference between loneliness and being alone. And loneliness comes in more of a negative way. So I think loneliness comes when you're not giving yourself the time that you need to fill your cup, if you will, your socialization cup or something like that. Hello. Hey, look. Hello. You scared me. A beautiful robin just landed there, and it scared the hell out of me. New friend. So what was I saying? Yeah, so loneliness is typically something that happens when we're not giving ourselves enough of the social interaction with other people that we need as human beings. This typically comes from a lack of confidence, a lack of being, maybe a lack of purpose. It can be a range of different things, but typically it's confidence. We don't have the confidence to go out and start new relationships or be around people, or we worry too much about what people think if we engage in conversation, those type of things. And that can be really hard for a lot of people. It's been hard sometimes for me, but because I'm someone who enjoys my own space, my own time, my own company, it doesn't worry me too much. But I have heard from other people about it really taking an impact on their life because they don't know how to get themselves out there, they don't know what to do. And remember, this is very different from being alone. I'm going to talk about that in a sec. So if you're someone who struggles with loneliness in general, there's a couple of things I want you to think about, or I think it would be important for you to think about. Because loneliness isn't the problem. One of the rules with coaching and any type of therapeutic type of work is the problem is never the problem. There's something under it. There's something deeper under it which is causing the feeling of loneliness in this example. As I touched on before, loneliness can come from a lack of confidence. You feel like you're not confident enough to be able to engage in conversation or put yourself out there. And because of that, you do it less often, and because you do it less often, you end up being more alone and lonely. So if we try and dig deep, ask yourself this question. If you are someone who feels quite lonely, ask yourself why. Why do you feel so lonely? What's the reason for that? Sometimes it can be a defense mechanism. Sometimes it can be a way to protect yourself in some form or another. Maybe you've got a fear of being hurt. Maybe you've got a fear of being judged. Maybe you've got a fear of what other people think. And that could be driving this feeling of, well, I'm lonely because I'm worried what people think. I'm worried about being judged, so I won't put myself out there. So you have to understand where it's coming from, because we need to tackle that problem. Once we can tackle that problem, at least start to loosen the grip that it has on you, then you can start to see new opportunities and new resources, which you may not have seen before. Oh, there's so many robins flying around. So one of the first questions is ask yourself, where is this coming from? What's really the problem? And you have to really listen to the answer when it comes up, because your unconscious mind will give you that answer. The next question to ask yourself is, what's the purpose? What's the purpose of feeling this loneliness? Or what's the purpose of feeling this fear of being judged? What is that giving me right now? You'll notice the answer that comes back will be either in the negative or the positive. Typically in the negative if you're feeling lonely. And so if it is coming back in the negative, then you have to ask yourself one more question. And this is the kicker. This is the one that will really start to help you see different things. How can I get that purpose fulfilled in a more positive way? Then you have to take action on that answer. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be this grandiose shout it from the rooftops, this is exactly what I'm going to do next, or anything like that. It's just a single step. I'm all about the single step, the next step in front of you. Because if we look ahead at the 1,000 steps that we have to take if we're trying to do something different or try to do something new, then we get overwhelmed, we get stressed. It becomes almost too difficult to comprehend what's in front of us. So it always begins with the first step that's in front of you. You know, it could be something like write a post on social media, or make a phone call, or write in a journal about why you're feeling this way, or whatever it may be. But we have to take that step. It's that first step, and once that is going to lead to the next one. And when we take that first step, then we can take the next step after that as well. So there's a couple of things to think about. I know it's quite deep, but if you are feeling lonely, then it's a really good place to start. Now, let's move on to being alone, because one of the things that a lot of people really struggle with is being alone. We are in a world which is full of distraction, and it's purposely built that way, so we're not looking at the bigger picture. We're not looking at the things which people, places, things that they don't want us to see. So a lot of the time people really struggle to be alone in their own thoughts. We have to be on our phone, we have to be on our laptop, we have to be doing something. But in reality, what we really need to do is be able to sit in silence and be in our own thoughts. Our own thoughts have a lot of the keys and answers to a lot of our challenges and issues. And the more we can actually sit and just be alone in our thoughts and by ourselves, the less of a hold all the other distractions, our devices and everything else has on us. And so a way to be able to do that is very simple. Just allocate some time every day to sit and be alone. 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, half an hour, whatever it may be. For me, it's getting out, and this is my alone time. And I realize that I'm distracting myself by creating videos as well. So I'm going to turn this off in a minute and just sit and be alone and enjoy the silence, enjoy my thoughts. So all you need to do is just start being alone and enjoying that time, and let yourself know that it's okay to be alone. It's okay to explore your thoughts, no matter how deep and dark they might get sometimes. They're there for a reason. The more we can be comfortable with ourselves, the easier life becomes. Now, for the sake of this video going on for too long and my coffee getting too cold, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll come back a little bit later to wrap up the video as I start heading home. Okay, just as I'm on my way back, just got a couple of final thoughts just before I wrap up this video. So look, there's nothing wrong with being alone. I personally think it's one of the best things you can ever do. We need human interaction, we need to socialize as human beings, so we need to make sure we are giving ourselves some of that, as much as is going to fill your tank. Might be catching up with someone, might be going to a party,
Might be once a week, once a day, whatever it is for you. Everyone's different. Everyone's different. Hang on, I've got a duck. I've got a big log. But there's nothing wrong with being alone. And there's nothing wrong with being lonely sometimes. We all get lonely sometimes. It's only when that loneliness starts to control us. And if you are feeling lonely more often than not, and more often than you would like, then that's when it begins to become a problem. And with everything, when it comes to making changes in your life, if you're not happy with something, you don't like certain emotions or ways of being that you are, with all these things, ultimately, it's up to you to change. It's your responsibility, and no one's going to be able to do it for you. But the really cool thing with that is, you can change if you want to. You can do it. You've got it inside you to do it. It's just up to you. And when you're really ready to make that change, if you're feeling lonely, if you're like, you know what, to hell with this, sick of feeling like this, then just do something about it. You can do it. There's so many resources out there. There's so many people out there that can help you. Even if you feel like you don't have any resources, there's no people that can help you. There are. It's up to you to reach out. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for tuning in to this video and checking it out. Man, the temperature has just dropped since I had my coffee up in the woods back there. Like my hands, you probably can't see them, but they are cold. I really didn't wear enough layers for this one. It's winter time in Ireland, and I thought it'd be okay, but yeah, my hands are starting to get real cold. So thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave a comment if there's something you wish to share, or if this has been of value to you. My aim for all these videos is to give you as much value as possible and assist you in some way. If you're interested in actually doing some coaching, or you'd like to have a conversation with me, leave a comment or reach out to me. You can send an email to info@nathanhawken.com. That's NATHANHAWKEN.com. Reach out anytime, we can have a conversation. More than happy to help in any way. And if there's a particular topic, or if there's something that you're struggling with and you'd like me to do a video on, let me know. Always happy to help. All right, thanks again. Take it easy.